challenge, I'd like to welcome Drew Gall from Silt Sump. So Drew's kindly agreed to present to us the topic of his very ingenious Emerald award-winning Silt Sump. So without further ado, Drew, across to yourself.
Thanks, James, and thank you everybody for taking the time today to come along. My name is Drew Gall. I was the joint winner. I'm always weird saying the winner, the joint winner of the 2023 inaugural Emerald Challenge for my concept in or designing the Silt Sump. And I'm being asked to come today and just basically give a brief overview of where it is and what it is and where it's going. So if everyone's happy, I'll just crack on. 2023, I, like many folk, received one of the emails asking to submit ideas for the Emerald Challenge. And one of the issues that I was dealing with daily was silt management on not just harvesting sites, that came from the forestry side of the life, but for quarries, which we managed, or I was managing, and road construction projects. And it's been the bane of my life and one of my big pet hates that there's such a limited option for equipment to actually deal with pollution on site. And interestingly, in the last couple of years, it's become quite a major effort. It's become really big in the news with fines and increased fines being awarded to industry and folk polluting the environment. So that sort of, it all wraps in really well with my idea of the Silt Sump. Apologies, it's not Siltpump, by the way. I only found out the other week. I don't know, probably my mistake, but it's the Silt Sump, not Siltpump. So, the Silt Sump itself was born out of frustration. I spent 10 years as a civil engineer for Forestry and Land Scotland. And in that time, we were always encountering very poor water control, and we still do, and very, very poor sort of methods of control for it. So in 2023, I submitted an idea to the Emerald Challenge. My big sort of driving force behind this was it's industry itself, including the environment agencies. They're very standoffish when it comes to actually telling you how to manage water, how to manage pollution incidents, or give you ideas. They want to see you actually bring them to the table. You'll keep seeing silt netting coming through here. Silt netting itself is a brilliant invention, brilliant concept, should never ever be put into ditches, in my mind. It is not designed to manage water or silt in water courses. It's just been utilised by the industry over the years, and it's almost become a standard, a very poor standard. And the reason I said that it's time for a rethink from the contractors, which is a really hard push. I think SEPA and the Environment Agency, because I've dealt with them both recently, need to take action on this. As I say, it still now has become the norm. It's not the norm, it's just an excuse. So for the last, I would say, how long now? I've got 6 months in my head, but it's probably longer. It's probably closer to a year. Been carrying out field trials in varying environments. I'm now dealing a lot with wind farm and big utility projects in our Gall, and we've got them dotted all around our Gall now. Quarry locations, ideally, that's where my idea at the very beginning of this sort of was aimed at, was the quarry and the forestry side of things, but it's more very much, I got a phone call the other day from a builder. They're looking to take them on just now as well. Harvesting sites, construction sites, all that sort of runoff and whatnot. And a lot of the driving force behind the Silt Sump actually coming into fruition, I think is the word. If you see the picture on the bottom left there, was a lot down to the Wood Group, who've been very instrumental in backing me up and actually wanting to make a change on their site, which are going to be starting very shortly. The project's potentially going to last up to 3 years, and they want to see something different brought to the table to actually help with it. The top two pictures there, the big picture on the right-hand side was one of my early Mark 1s. There was no wings on it or anything like that. It was just testing, adjusting the actual bags, the products. I originally started out with Hessian and sheep wool. Hessian, great product, takes 3 times more energy to make than woven PP, unfortunately, and rots. Sheep wool, I just got told to go away by industry. There's still a room for it to actually be utilised, but yeah, after all the trials and everything else, I settled on the woven PP material, and it comes in different, best way to explain it, widths. So I've had to go through trialing different woven PPs to get the flow right on it as well. You'll be forgiven for thinking it's just a 1-ton bag. If you can get a ton of silt in that, crack on. It's the same material, and that's quite literally where it ends. So for the last 6 months, it's all been working trials, testing, adjusting, spending an absolute fortune trying to get this right. And alongside that, these are things I never thought I'd do. So I put the idea in, all of a sudden I had to patent the idea. So that's taken up an enormous amount of time. And then trademarking the idea as well, which came in 2 weeks ago. So this last 18 months, I've now got a working design, which is patented, trademarked, and ready to deploy for the works for Wood Group on behalf of SSE. I've been carrying out demos, and there's a list of names underneath it. Folk I've been providing demos for, a lot of them have actually purchased the bags as well. So it's slow going at the moment, and they're all small numbers, relatively decent sized numbers, but with a lot of these big guys, you're trying to get the idea out to them, and just basically show them the concept works. The picture on the bottom right there, that's one of my demo sites, which I take folk to weekly. And I don't think I can get a better picture of actually the Silt Sump working. What I don't have is a photo when water receded and the amount of silt that's captured in that one, but the entire burn behind it is literally full to the gunwale. And this was one of the better for, I think, for trying to explain what the Silt Sump actually does. When I started work, well, I started on the 14th of August, but I placed this one on the 1st of August. And the space of just under 6 weeks, that ditch that you see there was completely empty, and that's after the water's receded. And that's the silt capture that was captured in that 5-6 week period time. The bottom right hand photo was me just laying out kit just to start digging out the Silt Sump itself, just to start taking notes and keeping records of how much silt they can actually capture. What it doesn't take into account is the silt that's been captured back up here. It's about a 75-metre stretch of what was a cleaned out ditch. That's me in bright orange kit. And that is it was 60 kilos that I took out that first trial. And what I've done in conjunction with that is that I supply, or this is what I use out on site, is just a very simple table to document there's 3 different bag sizes, so I document which size that I'm putting out, estimated 40 ml material that I put into the bag, and then try and weigh them. We can weigh them when the bags are lifted out, so we can start building up a picture to work with SEPA or environment agencies we're dealing with at the time, or the like Wood Group. They've got their own environmental guys, so I can start painting a picture for them and saying, look, we've got 100 bags out, we've lifted 50, we've moved 3,000 kilos of silt, 3 tons. That's would inevitably flow straight into the river. So that's that's just a clearer picture of the Silt Sump. It's very easy to store. It's very easy to put out. It's durable. I've got one out now. I think it's been out working for, I think it's 8 months. It's been cleaned out once already and put it back in. So I'm still testing, still trying to give answers to people who are asking how long they last. It all depends on the digger driver taking them out. Again, that's a Mark 1. The designs that I've got patented now, the poles will all have slots that they can fit in, and that will come with lifting eyes. And the bags are deemed to be safe enough to lift up to 160 kilos of silt. They come in 3 sizes. Reason for 3 sizes, very site specific. The 450 was designed primarily with forestry works in mind, harvesting sites where you get a lot of runoff come the winter. The 800 seems to be, I think I'm starting to get a feeling for the way things are going now, is more a general size I think most folk can use, both forestry and civil side. And the 1000, the reason for the much bigger bag was to deal with the utility groups and wind farms. So their roads are inherently much wider, their ditches are much wider, and the flow of water coming off is much more as well. So that's the reason for the 3. It's not to say that if anybody wasn't needing anything else, we could get it manufactured. But yeah, that's the 3. You can pretty much nail every situation with that. They can be sited in tandem, individually, however you please. I tried to design them that they could be fit into the back of works wagons and held as like a pollution incident style piece of equipment. And all it's required is the bag, 6 posts, and approximately a bag of 40 mil clean stone to act as a bedding stone and a filter bed, which goes inside the bag. It basically just spreads the bag out and you seal it off around the front of the edges, and then the water just gradually builds and then just gets a chance to start for the silt to start dropping into the bag. What's actually happened, that happens, and then as you saw in the photo before, the silt starts backing up into the ditch as well. So all it remains at that point is when the water recedes, when you're carrying out basic upgrades or maintenance, is you can actually move the silt and stop it actually flowing into the water courses. Yeah, this was done in London. This was on the Emerald Challenge, and just having a cheeky wee glass of wine there. But yeah, it's been an absolute adventure for the last 2 years. Things are still. I've only just started really pushing to sell them. I've just recently started advertising. I've just put an advert out this month into the Forestry Journal. I'm looking at other magazines for advertising and potential articles. And yeah, I'm LinkedIn, and I've got my webpage, www.siltsump.co.uk. And yeah, that's where this has been for the last, well, say 2 years. It's not even that. So, and this is where we are now. So I've now got the bags deployed and working and ready to sell. So yeah, it all stemmed from 2 bottles of wine and entering a competition. So, but if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to talk about this.
Hi, Andrew. So again, on behalf of Devon and Cornwall, thanks a lot for your presentation. That's really great and really ingenious idea. So like you say, open to any questions, so people feel free to ask away. Drew, I've just got one question from my side, is more about the Emerald Award really, and in terms of how did you hear about it, and how did you get involved really to submit this as an idea?
The emails have been going around because obviously I'm a member of the Institute of Quarrying, and I think it was an email at Flash Round. I think it was the fourth or fifth time I'd seen it, and I submitted an idea, and it was just a general question: like, is this the sort of thing you're looking for? And it was. When I read the email, I sort of took it as what's really annoying you in industry, and nobody's doing anything about it. So that's that's the reason I posed the question. And from there, I had a design in my head, and it really started with that. So yeah, in my defence, I was left on my own, unattended for the weekend, and with 2 bottles of wine, and then just fired into it, and it just absolutely snowballed from there to where we are today.
I think that's a great success story, really, isn't it? And it's great that the IQ can be part of it as well. I think to really kind of promote an idea like this is, you know, it's what the award is for. It's really positive, isn't it? So
it wouldn't have happened without it, and that's for sure. So it was a great, and to have the support I've had all the way through this, and I'm now using it towards my third year in uni for a project for silt capture, just so I can start documenting it and providing more information. So yeah, it's ticked all the boxes for me. But yeah, it's been an amazing 18 months, I tell you.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we've got 34 on the call, so I'm sure I'm not just the only one with a question. So if anyone else wants to either put some in the comments or they want to unmute themselves and ask, more than happy.
Can you hear me, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just simple question: what is the cost? And also on top of that, instruction. Does it come with a kit, or can you actually pay your company to come out and fit it?
I've been asked to go out and fit them for guys for for demos and whatnot. I'm based up near Oban, and honestly, if I gave you the kit, you'd build this stuff out in minutes. I'm going to, as part of the article going out with the Forestry Journal, they're going to help us make a video for an installation video. And once you've done one, you'll rattle through them. I started off, it's taking us 15, 20 minutes. I can install them now in 5. Cost wise, off the top of my head, it's 26.48, 27 and 29 for the 1000. And you can read the hope is that you reuse them over and over and over again. But just take care, when you take them out, you actually clean them, dry them, put them away. Because most of these are where you'll get the most damage for the material is just leaving them for extended periods of time in the sun. So historically, during the summer, you probably won't need them as much. So if you're relying using these in the winter a lot more often, keep them stored until you need them. And again, that's the reason for making the Mark II with the pole slots, that they just extends the life on them. But if you're close by, I'd be more than happy to come down and install them for you.
I'm Yorkshire, Andrew, but it looks simple enough when you see the pictures. I'm just wondering, because it's a new thing, whether you've got geared up to start showing people. But I'm sure if you make a video, put it on YouTube, it'll explain itself.
Yeah, I think that's the next step. I've literally been doing this in between uni, work, and everything else associated with kids and whatnot. So it's there's so many factions that I need to get done or want to get done, but I could easily. I've got a data sheet with an installation guide on it. But if you like me, a quick video would probably be far better. But no, if it warranted it and you're buying enough, I'll travel down to Yorkshire. I'll happily come down to Yorkshire for a couple of days. But yeah, for me at the moment, it's just about trying to get this new idea out, get the concept out, and trying to get the sort of passion behind it as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Drew, I've got one in the chat for you.
All right.
It's thanks for the presentation. What sort of flow can it handle, and how does it cope with clay?
Clay, the flow. All right, I'll send the data sheet. Whoever was asking that, I've got all the information on the data sheet. I should have put that up. Can I put it up after this? for folk to see?
Yeah, that's fine. It's not something you want to quickly chuck a link to in the chat. It's not that easy, is it?
No, I've got so many files here at the moment. Whoever that was, if they email us, I bet it was Franco. I bet he's went and done a numbers question, didn't he?
We can send it out afterwards to people who've been on the call. That's not a problem.
What I'll do is I'll send you the data sheet if you want to put that up, and that's got the flow rates on it after this as well.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the second one?
How does it cope with clay?
Brilliant on clay. Peat and clay is primarily that photo that you saw before. That was predominantly sand, very fine sand. One of the early photos, that was a heavy clay. Can you go back on the photos? Sorry, just 2 seconds. I'm just again, whoever's asking that, I can certainly send them a. Can you see the work and trials photo that's come up there? Does that come back up, or is it still presenting?
Yeah.
The top photo, that's a heavy clay. And I've got another photo from the back of that. There's not an inch of it. It's moved past the front. And that's on about 4 or 5% slope as well. So there's quite a flow there. Again, it sort of self captures. Once you start capturing the front here, it starts backing up, back up the ditch. But heavy clays is not an issue for it at all. I think I've closed that.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, cheers for that. Is there any other questions? Either in the chat. I can't see any more questions, Sarah, in the chat. But if anyone does want to ask, feel free. Well, in that case, again, Drew, thank you again for the presentation. It's absolutely cracking idea, and I think it's going to be a real game changer in our industry. And I only hope it really grows and grows for everyone's benefit, really. So,
no, thank you very much. It's just me trying now to get it out there, and there's so many different industries. That's the problem. We're quarrying. I'm dealing with builders, forestry, and it's more of an education for me to try and get folk away from just throwing a strip of silt netting in, which I've got over 300 environmentalists on my LinkedIn page, and there's not one person that likes silt netting in the ditch.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of support from a lot of senior environmental guys working for big companies, and it's just getting from them to the procurement side of things.
Yeah.
So, but no, thank you very much for the time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And Sarah, over to you really to close us out, I suppose.
Okay, that's brilliant. Yes, thank you to Devon and Cornwall branch for hosting today's presentation. It has been recorded, so that will be distributed to all members in due course. I think that's it, really. Enjoy your day.
Thanks, sir.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.